In July 2008, in the district of Montauk in New York, a mysterious creature washed up on the beach. Let's just say it wasn't in contention to win any beauty pageants, is my best analysis. Dubbed the Montauk Monster, this mysterious creature was subject to much speculation as to what it was, before it suddenly vanished. This is a James Linker experience. Here is a story.
The mysterious creature surfaced on an East Hampton beach on July 12th, but nobody seems to know what it is.
On July the 12th, 2008, Jenna Hewitt and two friends were walking along Ditch Plains Beach on a sunny Saturday when they came across a bizarre-looking animal lying deceased on the sand. That was just my Uncle Jeff sunbathing.
And we just saw it sitting there and didn't really know what to think of it at first. It is a bizarre-looking creature. They're not altered in any way. We have the original camera with the picture, and there's a lot of other people that saw it that day that would come out and say that that's what it looked like.
We didn't know what it was. We joked that maybe it was something from Plum Island. The animal seemed to have a beak, large canines, and other characteristics that didn't make it easy to identify. And can I say that finally someone took a high-resolution picture of that crazy thing that they saw? Dear everyone else on the internet with weird stories, please take note. The animal also had strange bindings around its legs, a detail that may come in useful later in the story. Jenna's picture of the creature and the story was soon picked up by various news outlets. The East Hampton Independent was the first media outlet to publish the story on July the 23rd, which quickly captured the imagination of the locals. And then 6 days later, the website Gawker ran the story with the headline, "Dead Monster Washes Ashore in Montauk." Let's just say that it wasn't a complimentary article, mocking the finding with the conclusion it was a marketing stunt. But nonetheless, the photo of this creature was now being seen by more and more people, and it soon became national news.
There should be. Hey, Jenna, how big is this thing?
I'd say it was about the size of a small dog.
Publications such as Fox News and the Huffington Post soon ran the story, and at this point, millions of people were speculating about what the creature could be. Enter the director of International Cryptozoology Museum, Loren Coleman. Now that is a job title. I need a mint after saying that. Coleman is the guy to call for cryptid investigations, I've heard. He's got a business card and everything. Eager to inspect the creature, Coleman travelled to New York only to find that the creature had vanished. Somebody had removed the carcass from the beach. All Coleman had to work with was the testimony of locals. As he interviewed people who saw the creature, he was told by some that it had decomposed, and there was no longer anything to see. Move along, basically. However, Coleman didn't give up his search, and upon further questioning, he was told by locals that they had seen somebody taking the carcass into the woods. Romantic. Come here, darling. Jenna Hewitt, who initially found the animal, also says she saw a guy take it and put it in the woods, but Jenna would never reveal the identity of the man. She was never to give a public interview again.
I think it might be something strange too. I'd love to find out what it is.
The story was taking a strange turn, and as Coleman commented, these people put up a brick wall around themselves. Media exposure was at an all-time high. The carcass was gone. The locals were now not talking, and Jenna Hewitt and her friends never made a public appearance again. What happened that suddenly made people stop talking? Who got to them?
Well, Jenna, you took the photos, and we appreciate you joining us this morning. The mystery of the Montauk Monster continues.
So the big question still remains, what was the creature? The official explanation is water-degraded raccoon, where bloating and deformity made the raccoon look like that. For reference, this is what a raccoon looks like both alive and deceased. Case closed. See you next week. Some people have questioned whether raccoons have large front teeth like that. Paleozoologist, spell that for 5 points, Darren Naish believes that from the dentition, skull shape and front paws that it is a raccoon, where decomposition has led to its ghastly appearance. Hold on a second for a few more boring explanations before I get to the fun stuff. William Wise, director of Stony Brook University's Living Marine Resource Institute, that was a mouthful, doesn't believe it's a raccoon because the legs appear to be too long in proportion to the body. He believes it's a hoax. Someone who got creative with latex. Was the reason that the carcass was taken in the woods by this mysterious man to hide the evidence of a hoax that just got out of hand? Maybe. But Wise's next best guess was a dog or coyote that was diseased and in the sea a while. He discounts sea turtle, rodent, dog or sheep based on the characteristics of the creature, Some people believe it's a turtle.
A mutant ninja turtle.
The best answer ever. Deceased without a shell, but to ruin my dream, turtles don't have sharp teeth like that. Unless it's Raphael, then. Best answer ever. As for the bindings on its legs, some people think it could have been a pit bull that was forced into a dogfight where it was fatally injured and dumped into the water. Loren Coleman believed from the photo that it was likely a raccoon. Local journalist Nick Layton followed a lead that there was a dead raccoon that was giving a Viking funeral which involved it being burnt and sent afloat on the sea in flames. Just the good old raccoon Viking funeral, obviously. Some guys on holiday who found a dead raccoon and thought it would be funny to put it on an inflatable and set it alight. And that is genuinely one of the more accepted explanations. I'm going to take you down a way more fun path to Raccoon Valhalla, or to a highly secretive government facility 1.5 miles off New York's Long Island.
Why couldn't the Montauk Monster be some critter that they were tinkering with that somehow went into the water and got swept by that outgoing tide? Montauk is south and east of Plum Island, not that far, maybe 10 miles as the crow flies.
Plum Island is government-owned land, which is home to an isolated facility where they contain and study the deadliest animal diseases known to man. They have a staff of around 400 people at this facility, built in 1954. You can only get to the island by ferry or helicopter, and it's invite only. Armed military patrol the island. No one gets in or gets out, they say. Officially, the facility says it studies deadly animal diseases such as foot and mouth disease, the only facility in the US to have the license to conduct this type of high-risk work. These diseases are so contagious and destructive that if they get out into a food supply, they will decimate it. As an indicator of how potentially deadly any exposure from this facility is to the outside world, it has been listed many times as a potential terrorist target. The New York Times in 1971 described the facility as Devil's Island for the deadliest animal disease germs known to man. The security measures at Plum Island were also revealed. Round-the-clock patrols along the island's perimeter, buildings with airlocks, holding tanks to sterilize the wastewater from mandatory showers taken by staff before leaving. But that's not all. There are theories in the dusty corners of the internet, where I spend too much time, that Plum Island is much more than what we are told. Since the 1950s, rumors have been abound that it is an experimentation center where they are creating hybrid species and biological weapons. Sounds like something the Nazis would do. Yeah, Plum Island was run in the 1950s by ex-Nazi biologist Erich Traub, a biological weapons expert. Not brought in for his understanding of how to arrange flowers, methinks. It is documented fact that Nazi scientists were brought to the US after World War II to fulfill various roles, and documented fact that Traub was involved with Plum Island. But it gets worse. There are also theories that at Plum Island, they are performing horrific experiments on animals and humans. The government wouldn't, would they? In January 2010, a man was found dead on Plum Island. The man had abnormally large fingers and 5 holes drilled into his skull. He had had some type of invasive surgery performed on him. He was found by a security guard in a restricted area. This has led to much speculation about human testing at the facility. Could this creature that washed up on the beach on July 2008 have been a monstrosity created in the mysterious Plum Island facility, its legs bound for experimentation and containment, which somehow got out and washed ashore near Montauk? Reporter Nick Layton said he spoke with 3 women before they hid from the media, and said that when they chatted to him on July 31st, the Plum Island narrative was raised. These women then showed Layton an alternate photo of the creature from a new angle. I have another photo here, but I'm unsure if this is the photo that seems to support the Plum Island narrative. This photo doesn't seem to show anything else of note. I would like to see the photo that does, however. Plum Island is slated to close this year and move its work to a new facility in Kansas, where you gotta wash away your secrets somehow. There was never any DNA testing done on the animal, and while certain experts believe it was a raccoon or a dog, there's still no consensus. They analysed the photograph. They didn't have access to the carcass. Did the locals suddenly stop talking about this animal due to pressure from Plum Island? Who was this mysterious man that took the carcass away? And why would the people that saw him never reveal his identity? The Montauk Monster does have potential explanations, such as a raccoon, but it's certainly not a closed case. It's a mystery that still goes on to this day, and Montauk has some other very strange accusations. Indeed, it is alleged that the Montauk project, which allegedly involved time travel and mind control experiments, took place at the Montauk Air Force Base. Whilst that is for another video and speculation, what is clear is that Montauk has a lot of secrets.
No, that day, we didn't think that much of it. I grew up in Montauk, as did all my friends. We've seen some crazy stuff out here.